No shake. I told y'all niggas I was coming. Yep. What happened to Piccolo? I got a white spot for dimes and a trap spot for selling bricks. Hold that script and give me flow. I got this master plan to get by, ain't trying to get over. It's time to do me. Deleting is over. I took a horse to a way, couldn't make him drink. So I picked out the scam, crabs in the bucket. I sleep with both eyes open, niggas can't be trusted. It's the octopus husk, catch the targets with the mustard. Ain't no back door, front doors get knocked down. Money be my motor, want an issue, we can go down. And that's how I sound, whoever want a toe tag. 22 your stomach, that's a guaranteed shit bag. Talking out your neck, eating steak through a straw. And your dog can get it too, cause the clip hold a few. Jump on the dick, this Chevy outside. Wanna drive over, nigga, we can vibe. Guess what, nigga, we can get it right now. You can get it right now. Yep, you can get it right now.
Welcome back to Season 2, Getting Rich Off Mondo, and I am your host, Edward Randall. Today, we're going to discuss the Cavs and the Warriors Game 1. Now, unless you were on another planet or in a coma, I'm pretty sure you were somewhere watching the game. Or you were texting somebody saying, what's the score, or whatever, if you were at work. I'm just going to jump right into it now. Kevin Love, max player. This guy wants a max contract. He wants to be a team leader. And they swear that he was Jesus Christ 6'10" when he was in Minnesota. Well, when he was there, on the outside looking in, it looked more like they didn't really have any players, right? It's kind of like if 8 women walk into the door of the club together, 1 or 2 of them gonna be bad as fuck. But then the rest of them will kind of be like, man, I look back over there about 1:30 or 2. Kevin Love is the X factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, he had that explosive game against the Celtics when there wasn't anybody to play. I mean, Isaiah Thomas was out. That's all you really have to say. So, but the Celtics were already defeated. So, you got Kevin Love on one side. And then for me on the other side, JaVale McGee maybe. But from what I seen last night, there is really no X factor on the Warriors. Now see, I was concerned with them not having Bogut and Harrison Barnes. So, I guess last night, Klay Thompson was more about lockdown defense. I mean, everybody's not going to score. Everybody's not going to score 35 points and go 8 for 10 from 3 on the Warriors. You can see, well, me not being a Warriors fan per se, but you can see that there's too many chefs in the kitchen. You got 5 guys standing around one small pot, 1 pack of noodles. They ain't gonna feed everybody. It's sweet right now. The Warriors, man, they look like a fucking Hummer on the sidewalk last night. They look like an out-of-control Hummer going down a busy sidewalk. Now, I'm not making light of anything that's happened here recently with that type scenario, but it was like a freight train. It was like, a couple of people standing on the tracks, blind, deaf, and dumb. Here comes a freight train. Wham. It says Warriors on the front. And there ain't enough of the Cavaliers to put in a bucket. Now, really, Durant and LeBron. Now, you know, me and my friends, we had been debating, and I was, you know, I was kind of thinking that, you know, I started feeding into the hype also that LeBron's. Mama, take me to the store and get me some LeBron's. That lockdown that KD put on the King, see, I was buying into it too. Oh, he's the greatest. I'm being sarcastic here because I'm from the Jordan era. I grew up in Chicago, 144th and Halstead. So, I know what's going on. So, he went from Durant to Green. Now, that's a triangle offense right there. Now, LeBron James had 8 turnovers in 40 minutes. The Warriors didn't even have, I think they tied a record for the least amount of turnovers, tied for like 4. And 2 from Green and 2 from Curry. Now Curry is going to, you know, he's going to do that because he's Mr. Behind the Back, Mr. Fancy Pass, pass it to the first row. But that's neither here nor there. You got LeBron getting locked down. You could see it on the Cavs' face. Like when the game first started, it was 0-0. That was the only time it was even. After that, it was a damn avalanche. You know, a little town called Cleveland Cavaliers. Here comes the avalanche. Right on top of the town. Now, I'm not going to say everybody's dead, but Cleveland's in trouble right now. There ain't shit you can say at the fucking press conference. You can't point no goddamn fingers. You can't say, oh, well, you know, my shoes ain't right. The rim's too small. Too much smoke in the gymnasium. The Cavs got their ass steamrolled. They got Peter rolled. They got sopped up. They got dealt with. They got pimp smacked. They got bitch smacked. Open hand, backhand, front hand, backhand. Key and Peele, front hand, backhand. All fucking day on they ass. This was uncomfortable. It was a cringy type of viewing. More like you were sitting in the lobby of a funeral home waiting to view some caskets. It was like that. Now, let's get to Mr. Tristan Thompson. Mr. LeBron say, give this nigga his $88 million. So, they give this nigga $88 million. 22 minutes, 0 points. 22 minutes, 0 points. Now, there's something on the front of today's June 2nd. On the front of the ESPN propaganda machine that says why we should respect Tristan Thompson as an elite player with a sneaky little floater. That's why I don't respect him. 22 minutes, 0 points. 6'10", and you're playing center, and you can't even get a damn bucket. Not one fucking bucket. Not one. So, Kyrie, congratulations on your NBA 2K18 cover. Must have, you know, I'm not going to push on Kyrie. I think Kyrie should have got the hell out of there before LeBron came back, because when he leaves, this place is going to be a mess. You know, 35 minutes, 24 points, 4 turnovers, minus 17. Okay, now, what the problem with that is, they just didn't seem like they were prepared. The Cavs, they scored the first point. It was 3-0. And after that, their confidence was shot. I mean, completely shot. I mean, they look like a damn D-League team. I mean, you talking about this is supposed to be a competitive match? Really? I mean, I'm serious. This shit was a ass kicking. It was a wig snatching, dress ripping, bra ripping, WorldStar.com ass whooping. I'm surprised. This was a beatdown. This was a UFC match, and it was a fucking beatdown. Cleveland, y'all in trouble right now. And I mean, shit. It don't. I mean, you got to look at it like this. They got to go back to Oracle Arena and play another game, and they're gonna be down 0-2. Now, I remember when everybody first started betting last round, there was a bet that the Warriors would sweep San Antonio. Now, I know I'm going backwards, but I'm just trying to prove a point here. Is it sweep talk already? I mean, they just got completely blown out the second half. So now you start looking at these old tricky roster moves. This is more about what the Cavs didn't do than what the Warriors did do. We already know what the Warriors did. They straight kicked ass. They put the smack down. No two ways about it. Now, Deron Williams and Kyle Korver combined 39 minutes, 0 for 7 from 2, 0 for 5 from 3. Now, we currently reside in the state of Georgia. So when we lose Kyle Korver to cherry picking ass LeBron, I already knew. I said, well, there go the Hawks. That's it. You know, Atlanta's more like a launching pad. Either people come here and take off, or Atlanta gets, you know, football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter. They kind of get the, you know, a box full of pizza crust instead of a pie. You know what I'm saying? You can bite and chew and suck on this crust here. It might be a little cheese, might be a piece of pepperoni in the bottom of the box instead of you getting an entire pie. That's why you can take 4 people to a Hawks game for $50 and get Chick-fil-A, and damn, the 4-person meal from Chick-fil-A is more than $50 damn dollars. I mean, hell, I spend $12, $13 at Chick-fil-A on me. It's quality. But if my mom were alive today, I ask her to take me to the mall and get me a pair of bronze. Mom, I want bronze. Really? He needs all the distractions he can get right now. They should have got little LeBron Jr. out there and let him get out there. He probably would have done better. But this Kevin Love, though, I mean, they fell down like dominoes, though. I'm just going from the top, and I like to start with Kevin Love. Because to me, he's booty. He's ass. You know what I'm saying? He is not a max player, but he's going to get the money. I mean, the NBA is the only place that seems like you just get rewarded just for showing up. It's like participation award. You just show up and get a max deal. All you gotta do is just, you know, don't hang out with Derrick Rose, but you can just show up and get paid. Because that's what the fuck is happening here. I mean, they were more than flat. They were more than flat, the Cavs. And the Warriors weren't exactly laser beam melting them from 3-point like they normally do. You know, I mean, the second half, the third quarter is where the Cavs ship went all the way underwater. And they had to send the divers in. The rescue team. It was an episode of Rescue 911. NBA playoffs 2017. Now, while LeBron was talking about, we need a playmaker. Okay, you got him. And what did he do? He left you out to dry, is what he did. You know, This is a guy that got, after he got his max deal with the Nets, then he has bone spurs and my feet hurt. And, well, maybe if he would have had a pair of bronze, then he would have been okay with the bone spurs. So he ended up coming off the bench, making $100 and whatever his contract was, $120 million. He's coming off the bench. He was one of the first ones to get those, you know, when they started passing out those contracts like Little Debbie snack cakes, right? Here, it's $100 million for you, $100 million for you, and $100 million for you. Shit. Now, what's he doing now? What have you done for me lately? Janet Jackson, right? He ain't done nothing. Him and Kyle Korver. I mean, I already knew Kyle Korver wasn't about that heat. You know? I mean, fuck, he's a defensive liability when he's on the floor. He's just sneaky. You know, he's just really good at standing there and disappearing. You know, him and Kevin Love kind of have a similar game far as I'm concerned. They just kind of like stand over there waiting on somebody to bless them, you know. But far as I know, there's only church at least once a week. Sunday, you know, we used to go on Wednesday too. But church is only once a week. So you ain't going to be getting blessed every day. Not like that. So, we need a playmaker. No. So, this is what I think. I think that what Cleveland needs to do is they need to worry about this point guard scenario and the shooting guard scenario. I mean, you got Smith and you got Shumpert. I mean, Smith, 28 minutes, 3 points, 2 turnovers, minus 12 at his position. This guy, he's a bum, man. I ain't never liked him. You know, Phil did a good job of getting rid of them, but he didn't do a good job of replacing them. And I mean, you know, Green, he didn't have a blast-off night. He played 36 minutes. He had 9 points. And he was plus 12 at his position. I mean, Curry, he did his thing. You know, Thompson, he did his thing. He only had 6 points in 36 minutes. So, like I say, their biggest problem is they got too many chefs standing around the pot. You know, there's only one microwave, there's only one chopping board, there's only one pot, and there's only one eye. And you got 5 chefs. So, and then if you listen to my previous episodes, I was explaining the little thing that they got coming up here with having to resign Durant and Curry. Do they both stay? Do you keep Durant? Who's more important? I think after watching last night, I think that this is Durant's team and Durant is more important to what's going on with the Warriors. I mean, Curry don't have to guard LeBron. He doesn't. And I noticed that Kyrie is getting guarded by Thompson. See, you don't never really get the matchup. You know, the matchups are on paper. You know, if you look at the paper, you say, okay, Curry and Kyrie, right? But I seen Thompson guarding him just like everybody else did. And why is Thompson guarding Kyrie? Because Curry can't. He simply can't. He can't guard Uncle Drew. But that wasn't Uncle Drew that showed up. I mean, you know, just get basic with it. You know, like when I'm playing NBA 2K17 and I see the 3 ain't working. I see, you know, they might have the paint locked down. So we're going mid-range. And, you know, I was looking at a shot chart for Curry. I think for an entire year, and he doesn't even take mid-range shots. I mean, like, his shot chart is just all 3-pointers. and all in the paint, basically, for a whole year. So this guy doesn't take mid-range shots because that's where the defense is. Below the 3-point line, you know, what is that shot that Aldridge likes to take? Was that 15-foot shot? 18-foot shot? That's not him. That's where Clay comes in. You know, Clay, he's mid-range. He's all over the place. But I think Curry would get exposed in another system quickly. Because Durant put the thing on LeBron. They just looked at like, you know, like there was 8 minutes left on the clock and they showed the Cavs bench and they just looked like, you know, like somebody had pulled a fire alarm and they didn't even have the strength to get out the chair. You know, everybody's outside looking around. We got to go back in and get the Cavs. Because they would have probably stayed in there if Oracle Arena would have exploded or caught fire. Because that's how bad they played. I mean, at one point they were down by 22. You talking about playmaking? Is this about playmaker? Is this about a point guard? To me, it looked like it was about a shooting guard because they don't have one, and I think they got 5 total. But nobody is showing up to play the position. J.R. Smith got his ring. He don't give a fuck. Shumpert, I don't know what the fuck's happening with Shumpert. You know, Shump was hot 4 years ago. But you can become mediocre in the NBA. Even in this age of analytics and all this plus minus and all that, and you can still be an ass dragger. A foot skier. You know, that's what they call a foot dragger. You know, if you're ever in the store and they're sliding their feet in them damn flip-flops or those house shoes, they I can't stand that shit. That shit drives me crazy. But Cleveland's in trouble right now. If somebody were to say, well, what does it look like to you? I say 4 games. 4. I say sweep. If the Cavs is going to bring that kind of energy, their vibrations that they were displaying, the whole team, they shouldn't even come out there. That's how bad it was. Cleveland scored the first bucket. I think that was one of Love's, how many shots? That might have been one of Love's 1 or 2 only buckets. It was a 3. Yeah. But they look like shit. They look like shit. These are professionally trained athletes with the best food, chefs, medicine, doctors, exercise regimen, free weights, fixed weights, whatever you can name, they got it. If a motherfucker going to say, you know, I just ain't getting no sleep at night. Oh, you know, I kind of feel like I just can't go to the bathroom. They got them. They got them. They get the best shit. The best of every fucking thing. Like they were fucking 5 motherfucking brain surgeons out there. They get the best of everything. So if you stay up on motherfucking Instagram sliding in bitches DMs and shit all fucking night, or if you just live in that lifestyle where you can't control yourself for a week or 2, then that's what you look like. That's what you look like. You look like a overblown, overhyped, overwinded, old, lackluster fucking team. All of them. It was a 48-minute Uncle Drew commercial where they all should have had fucking gray beards and gray hair. All the fucking Cleveland players. So can they prove us wrong? Can they prove me wrong? Because I'm just saying, you know, right now, this second, they look like shit. And that ain't gonna win no damn championship. They look like, the Cleveland Cavaliers look like 5 different dudes doing 5 different things on the same court. Now, in the Cleveland kitchen, they're not standing around the pot. Ain't no food getting cooked. You got 5 chefs around there chopping fucking celery. Nothing's getting cooked. They're just all standing there. Pot boiling. Grill hot. But they ain't got no meat out. And this ain't no vegan restaurant. You see what I'm saying? Cleveland look bad. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but they look like shit. They look like shit. This whole thing it was like Mayweather McGregor, with Cleveland being McGregor, of course. They got their lights punched out. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you arguing or talking shit with somebody, you turn around and then they hit your ass in the head. Like that. You know, the stumble after you get hit in the head. You know, you kind of do like a strut. Like a chicken strut. You turn around, the motherfucker go bing, hit your ass in the head. Then you kind of do like maybe a 3-step strut. Well, you know, a strut because you're in pain. And that's how Cleveland played. Like, they turned around and somebody hit their ass in the head and they were just kind of duck walking the whole game. They look horrible. You hear my attack dogs in the back. I'm protected. I'm loved. So, what I do is, somebody else has got to start besides Smith. I mean, you know, let's get started at the shooting guard position. You know, like, it seems like when the team doesn't have a good shooting guard, you know, I mean, they don't have one. You got a guy standing out there. He looks disengaged. He looks uninterested, and he looks rich. That's what they all look. Very, very, very fucking rich. Not only do they get the best of every fucking thing and don't have to pay for shit, but they're all motherfucking rich. Super stupid. If done correctly, generations and generations and generations on this name rich. That is what they all are. But it kind of looked like an NBA team had come to a gym in a high school and just getting here and just, you know, like, you know, whenever you watch clips of like Durant or Harden, Russell Westbrook, when they're at, let's say they're visiting kids or they're doing a thing or whatever, they don't show them kids no, they don't cut them no slack. They blocking them, they swatting their shots, they, you know, they putting a thing on them because they want those kids to know when they leave there, that's all they're gonna talk about. Man, he crossed me over 5 times and I couldn't see the ball, man. It was just like the whole time, man. Because they're paid professionals. And those little kids, they're trying to get there, and that's what Cleveland looked like. Like they was at a damn Warriors camp. And they say, well, you know, let's get the 5 best out of the crowd and see how they do against the pros. They look like a D-League team. Like they should have gave everybody back their money who bought something that said Cleveland on it. Or they should have brought you a bag so you can take the jersey off and put it in the bag. Because that was a shame. Yeah, Smith, he's got to go at starting shooting guard. I mean, you know, you can bring Shumpert in. Let's just switch their minutes. JR played 28 and Shumpert played 17. Well, let's start Shumpert and let him play 28 and bring JR off the bench and let him play 17, and let's see how that works. You know, Tyronn Lue, you know, he's the coach, but they got rid of a excellent coach and David Blatt, who, you know, I didn't really do any deep research on him, but, you know, he's won his fair share of stuff in Europe. He was kind of like the European Phil Jackson of coaching. So they go out there on a West Coast swing and play the Warriors, and then they played the Blazers, and they lost both of those games. When they came back, they fired David Blatt, and they made Tyronn Lue the head coach. Okay, now, you know, Cleveland's had a lot of coaches, you know, and I don't even think they've matched that record or his records when he was there. You know, he got a raw deal, you know, and they've had a lot of coaches, you know. I mean, you know, LeBron was a coach killer inadvertently. You know, Mike Brown, he's a good coach, but, you know, that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to get off where I'm trying to go with this. You see, they got to fix this right now. And J.R. Smith is one of the problems. He is definitely one of the problems. Okay, now, Thompson, he's just going to have to show up. You know, all that shit he talked, you know, this motherfucker, $88 million goddamn contract extension. Man, these people are loaded the fuck up. The Cavs are loaded the fuck up on contracts on this goddamn team that came out there and shit on the floor and sat in it. That team, they are fucking loaded up. I don't have the salaries in front of me, but Thompson's just got to show the fuck up. If I was Tyronn Lue, I would be telling Thompson, I need 10 fucking points. That's 2.5 points a fucking quarter. And I need 10 rebounds every night. Every night. Let me grab my pen. I'm holding on to this cigar, but let me put that down. Let me grab this pen. From Thompson, I need 11 and 11. Every night. 10 and 10, 11 and 11. I like 11 and 11. That sounds better. You know, just 11 and 11. And then from the shooting guard position, you know, I need at least 12 points from this position. I don't care if it's from the free throw line or what, but we need 12. Okay, now we're gonna let LeBron and Kyrie do their thing, but from Kevin Love, I need 20 fucking points. This guy's a fucking max player. They say he's a superstar. So I need 20 points from this guy every fucking night. Every single fucking night from Kevin fucking Love. I need 20 fucking points. If you have to fucking go get your car and drive it onto the fucking court and jump out of the goddamn sunroof, I need 20 fucking points from you every night. And I'm going to give you 10 rebounds, since everybody say that, you know, you just a fucking rebound machine, right? That you just, you know, what I notice is when I play NBA 2K17, he jumps over your back. All of the good rebounders are over the back foul you every fucking time down on, you know. Okay. So what we got is 20, 31. What was that, 44? Let's just round it off, as I need 45 points from them. You know, I need 45 points. Because you already know LeBron's going to get anywhere from 20 to 30. And you know Kyrie's good for 20. Now, I'm not saying that is enough or the formula to beating the Warriors, because it's not. But what I'm saying is that they need these injections. Before you even start talking about somebody coming off the bench and doing something, I need the stats to look statistically correct for the starters. I mean, Smith is not engaged. You ever had a 5-speed bad clutch? You put it in gear, you take your foot off the clutch, and as the car starts to build up speed, to pop out of gear. Or you had one a bad clutch and you just had to kind of just like force it in there, just kind of. He looks like that, like a car that's just, you know, keeps going out of gear. He's not interested, I don't think. You know, I think that the black player is in decline. I think so. I see the NBA filling up with European players, and they're, you know, I guess they're trying to figure out some kind of way to globalize or you know, have teams overseas or whatever. I'm not worried about that. What I'm saying is, I see you know, like a dunk 3-point mentality. See, like, where this is going, the Warriors look fundamentally correct. You know, like, I was really impressed with the picks that Pachulia was setting. You know, he played 14 minutes, had 8 points, it was +5 with 0 turnovers. But he was setting some very nice picks. Very, very nice. You know, their pick and roll, their give and go, it is something to behold. You know, because once Curry passes you, he looks over his shoulder to see where you are. Now he's made the decision on what he's fixing to do. And that's confidence. He's confident in what he's able to do. Like, he's not, his game is completely behind the 3-point line. You tell me what team he could go to and play like how he play and they're going to win. They're not. He'll be exposed. Draymond Green too. In another system, he'll be exposed. You know, they finally figured this out. I don't know if this was Mark Jackson's baby or whatever, but like, they perfected what they got going on. And then Durant used his length. He's got really long arms, and LeBron was trying his football shit, and it wasn't working. And, you know, I hear Jeff Van Gundy, you know, when I was on the way to the kitchen, I hear Jeff Van Gundy say, "Is that a travel? Is he traveling? Hell yeah, he's fucking traveling." And we know who he's talking about. I'm not going to even say his name. If you don't know who he's talking about and who I'm talking about, you're not, you know what I'm saying? This guy travels all the time. All the time. But nobody's watching his feet. They're all, you know, they got everybody trained on how to look. They got you trained. It's all in emotion. The camera, the angle, the sweep, the jump, and the 13 or 14 steps this guy takes. Just like it seems like after a fucking half court, he's just running with the ball, you know? So if he doesn't have the coaches understanding that if that's not going to work, if he can't get that on-demand foul, that slow down, that breath, because see, they got a system. LeBron's got a system. he knows how to space it out. Now, I'm not saying that's when he gets down to the last of the quarter, fourth quarter. That has nothing to do with his performance, but he knows how to set the game up. He's like Alex Smith down there in Kansas City on the old NFL side of the game. Game manager. Like, when he was saying that they needed another playmaker, I'm like, what is Kyrie Irving? I mean, isn't Kyrie Irving a superstar? So you mean to tell me that you need another superstar when he sits down at that position? Is that what you were saying? Because that's the vibe I get. Like, you're saying that these guys that you handpicked aren't good enough, so I need extra. You know, Cleveland ran half the fucking NBA's fucking free agents through there. Anybody and everybody with a damn name that was finna retire or was a decent free agent or whatever, they ran everybody through there. They ran a couple of grandmothers through there. Everybody. They ran everybody through there. And that's who they ended up with. Durant Williams, Kyle Korver, and there's another guy that's a power forward named Williams. That's what they ended up with. Durant Williams. I think his residency or maybe he was born in the state of Texas, so he went down there to play for the Mavs. And you couldn't make it down there where they lose all the time. They lose all the time down there. That team stinks. It needs to get out of the damn Dirk Nowitzki era. They're kind of like, I don't know. You know, they want to talk about Michael Jordan. They don't never say shit about Mark Cuban. Or they don't say nothing about the last 10 years how the 76ers have dominated the draft through tanking and all of the damn talent. See, that's why the NBA is so fucking lopsided, because the East, all the fucking picks have been absorbed through the tanking ass 76ers. See, Adam Silver is not a defender of the NBA. He's an ass kisser for the owners. You have to fix what's broken. Stern is gone. Stern didn't want to have to get rid of his homeboy, Sterling. So he eased on because he was there the entire Stern era, however long. 28 years, whatever the time was. Stern didn't have no problem with him. But see, that was before everybody's personal business through the internet became anybody's business. This is before that man didn't even say nothing on the tape. Sterling, he didn't say nothing. He said he didn't want you. He's talking in a perspective of a boyfriend talking to a girlfriend. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color the person is. This is a boyfriend talking to a girlfriend. So if he said, hey, I don't want you hanging out with them niggers at the fucking game at my team in my stadium, I think she could respect that. Or if it was flip-flop, you say, I don't want you hanging out with that cracker, or what you bring that white boy for, what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter. It was a boyfriend talking to a girlfriend in a private fucking conversation. How in the fuck do you lose an NBA team over a fucking conversation that you had with your girlfriend being a boyfriend in a personal conversation? Then you've done all kind of other flagrant shit in your life, but that's the reason why they took the team? I think it was just a way to set up the huge $2 billion damn price tag. That's what I think it was. I think it was a play, a ploy, all that shit to set up the sale of the team. Yeah. It's real. And the game is fucked up. It's lopsided because Cleveland and damn Philadelphia got all of the damn picks. If they get all the draft picks, then what do you got? You got it really lopsided. Nobody in the West is tanking like that. I mean, the only team that really just jumped straight out into my mind are the Phoenix Suns as being bad. Being bad a lot. You know, them and Dallas, you know, but it hasn't paid off. They're not sitting on 4 or 5 of the best damn players over the past 8 years out of damn college. And still don't have a winning formula. So before you start talking about somebody coming off of the bench and doing something for Cleveland to help them win, this is what we need from these players. Kevin Love, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Thompson, you ain't shit if you can't get 10 points and 10 rebounds. At $90 million, you can't get 10 points and 10 rebounds. And get Smith the fuck out of there and let Shumpert start. Give him those 28 minutes. I'm sure, you know, Shumpert's more creative. See, Shumpert is not sitting in the fucking corner waiting to shoot a 3 from an idiot that says, quote, I only want to take contested 3-point shots. I don't like open 3-point shots. Allegedly. Now, who in the fuck says that? That's like saying, if I get into a gunfight, I want to get shot for I shoot the shooter. Because the object is to get open and shoot a uncontested open 3-pointer. Not wait for the guy to come there. What the fuck are you trying to prove? So if you're in a gunfight, you're going to let the other motherfucker shoot you to show him that you tougher than him, that you could take one of his bullets and kill him, instead of being efficient and not getting shot by the person that you're trying to shoot. Does that make sense? I think so. You know, I don't know if Tyrone Lue is a coach or not. I don't know if they're running him around or whatever, or Bron is doing whatever the fuck he wants. I'm pretty sure he's doing whatever the fuck he wants. I think he's doing more than what he was doing than when Blatt was the coach. I'm pretty sure. You know? I mean, they don't understand that the way that they're doing this shit, it's not working. Whatever fucking plan that they drew up last night for game 1, they should take all those playbooks and throw them in the fucking trash in a barrel in the back and set them on fire. And they should stand there and inhale the ashes that's going to fly out of the fire. Stand there till they figure out what in the fuck they're going to do in game 2. Because that, let me tell you something. Do you see what it says about the East? That you could be in a game and be down by 22, but you have this person. You know, I've gotten soft on LeBron over the years, so I'm not gonna, I was fixing to go off on him and call him a whole bunch of names, but they want to say that this is the guy that is better than Michael Jordan. They want to say that this guy is that guy, and if he wins this, then he's better than Jordan. Okay, well, that goes along with today's math, the kind of math that people do today. Like a person that gets a quarter pound of marijuana to sell, and they'd already done smoked 3 blunts out of it before they even sold 1 sack. It's backwards thinking. You're going forward. And this guy is supposed to be the best player in the league, and they want to say the greatest of all time, but you're down by 22 fucking points 3 or 4 different times in the game, not just once. So you were basically getting your ass wiped with sandpaper from an evil fucking babysitter. You're an infant and you can't even fucking talk and say what the hell happened. They just gonna have to wait until it's discovered that your ass has been wiped with sandpaper. Beyond foot to ass. This is beyond ankle in it. When you have the best player. I can't never remember watching Michael Jordan and them being down by 22. But I'm sure it happened. But it didn't happen where it was reflective on the entire series. Just being into game 1, it looks to be over. Now, I know there's no money in sweeps. That ABC has dedicated these 7 dates to 7 games of the NBA Finals, and I know that's where the money's at on the stretch out for Vegas and everything, and because we're fixing to go into, after the NBA's gone, we're going to be in this thing where we're waiting on the NFL. So we're going to have to get this, I'm going to watch some baseball this year. So I'm going to have something to do. But what happened on that court can't happen in game 2. So I'm just saying, what it looks like, that was a done deal. And that's what's going to continue to happen. You're going to get your shit scooped with the snow shovel. Really. That's what the hell's going to happen. I didn't see really any error at all in the Warriors game. I mean, really, this is a recap of the game, but this is more like a diary. If Cleveland were writing in their diary, it would be, "Dear Diary, I think I might take a handful of pills tonight." Or, "Dear Diary, I think I might jump out of the window, and not the one on the first floor either." Or, "Dear Diary, I think I'm going to get the shotgun and put my toe in it." Because that's what the hell it looked like. It looked like an execution. It looks like, there's no damn reason that Tristan Thompson can't score 10 points and you don't score any points. None. 0. And Smith, 3 points. So what I was saying at the shooting guard position, 12 points versus 3. Our Irving, he scored 24. But Thompson, I say 11, he's got 0. And Kevin Love, he scored 15, but he could have scored 30. And they needed him to score 30. And they needed the 3-point shooting, all-star, max player. He's the shit. He's the man. He is the man. It's Kevin Love. Because it's going to be Kevin Love's team when LeBron eases on. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, because the way they're looking, they're not going to win. I mean, really. So let's get back to the Warrior kitchen quickly. With these 5 chefs standing around this pot. They're cooking. They might be cooking too much, but they're cooking. But over in the Cavs kitchen, they're still chopping celery. And the damn water about to boil out of this big ass pot. It can't happen like that again. That was a total failure. You could take that game and just chop it up and put that Benny Hill music or Three Stooges sound effects. Or you could put the UFC punches in it and the yas and whatever. Gunshots. But those 5 guys can't show up again and play like that. All hell's gonna break loose if the damn Warriors sweep the Cavaliers. Now, I don't know if LeBron is signing year-to-year contracts, but all hell is going to break loose if they fucking get swept by the Warriors. That's the truth. All hell is going to break loose because this team right here, the only person that's safe, I feel, is Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving if he wants to stay if LeBron leaves. Because they, those are the only two people that I think, have the immunity on the team. But, they're loaded up in Thompson. Kevin Love, they're going to load up on him. They're loaded up. They're loaded up on contracts. The Cavs had 20 turnovers. The Golden State Warriors had 4 turnovers, which was tying a record in the NBA Finals. 20 turnovers. That's a lot. That's 5 a quarter. You ain't going to win nothing like that. So we'll see if the Cavs starting lineup changes. I mean, we're going to see if, if Kyle Korver gets 20 minutes again. I mean, him and Williams, they didn't do anything. And that's that's a point guard and a shooting guard. Right there. So, if Korver's flat, if Smith is flat, if Jones is flat, I don't know the other guy's name. So when these two are in, they played 39 minutes combined and went 0 for 7 from 2 and 0 for 5 from 3. Now that's what he was talking about. Playmaker. Him, Deron Williams, somebody who was already a declining player. Everybody looked good against the Celtics. They could have been out there cartwheeling with damn roller skates on, and everybody on the Cavaliers looked good against them. But see, I already knew that it wasn't going to be like that when it come around to the Warriors. The Warriors are a bigger team, but we knew that it wasn't going to be easy. And what did we get? We got a slaughter. We were invited to a murder. We were invited to a funeral, a closed casket funeral. We were invited to an unmarked grave. We were out in the woods with cadaver dogs looking for the remains of the Cleveland Cavaliers because they were absolutely kidnapped and killed. They need personal mercenary security when they go to Oakland. Can't happen again. But we'll see. Like I say, there's no money in, for the advertisers and the retailers, the bars. I mean, the game is on, but nobody's watching it. I mean, if you were, you make them change it to it, though. I mean, if they didn't have it on there, but like, put it on the game. Or, when you go in the bar, they give you the remote. You put it on the game, down there on the other end, they might be watching something, some soccer or something, or baseball. But, down here, we're watching the game. And it's got a lot to do with, nothing really changes. If I wanted to watch the game, I wouldn't be at the bar, but we're watching the game at the bar. Makes sense of that. So, we're going to see what happens. But I got an idea of what's going to happen. The same thing that we saw in Game 1. It's going to happen in Game 2. I mean, Durant looks like the Rock out there, He looked like he was putting a smack down on an old ass man. I mean, he ain't no young cat either. I think he's 10 years in. Curry, he's 8 years in. You know, you gonna give these guys $200 million a piece? Which one's worth $200 million? You got to pay both of them. You gonna keep both of them? We're gonna see. But they look like world beaters. It was bad. Do we make the rest in peace memes now for the Cavs? We'll see. This has been Getting Rich Off Mondo. I'm your host, Edward Randall. Thank you for listening.